All right, everyone, welcome back into Mid Morning. I'm actually speechless right now because this is a first here in studio for me. Dr. Emerson and Dr. Janzen are joining me in studio from Emerson Animal Hospital. And Dr. Janzen, you are getting ready to go on a trip across the country.
I am, yes.
Okay, so talk to us about this mission trip and why we brought all our beautiful birds and our, is it a gecko?
It's a gecko, yeah, crested gecko, yes. So I am actually going to go serve with VetNet over in Mongolia, which is kind of south and east of Russia and China. So literally the other side of the world. Because of what we do at Emerson Animal Hospital, they recruited me to come over and teach their students, their interns, and their staff how to come do exotic animal medicine. So I'll essentially be teaching a full 30-hour course essentially on exotic medicine. We're going to have spay-neuter days. They just told me the other day they've got like 20 guinea pigs, so we get to go spay and neuter and just teach them how to do what I love to do and what Dr. Emerson has mentored me for the last 6 years to be able to do.
Wow. And Dr. Emerson, correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all are one of the only vet hospitals, I believe, that do exotic animals in Mississippi, correct?
Yes. This has always been a passion of mine. Growing up, there weren't really any veterinarians around to do our exotic animals, and I have always had snakes. Of course, I've had Bart for 37 years. And that was my goal after I went to vet schools. I wanted to be able to practice exotic medicine also and bring other veterinarians into this field. We have people that drive sometimes 1 and 2, 3 hours to come see us with their birds or snakes. We do guinea pigs, rabbits, sugar gliders, kangaroos. We don't do any monkeys, but I mean, we do a little bit of everything because a lot of people are like, snakes need health care, and we're like, I mean, they get respiratory infections, and you know, and the other thing about exotic animals that's so important is that they hide their illnesses.
Okay.
You don't know they're sick, and when they finally start showing clinical signs, they're really, really sick. So it's an emergency to get them into the veterinarian as fast as you can.
Now, Dr. Janzen, how long will you be gone on your trip?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And will you get to bring any animals with you?
No, I don't think Kiko. I don't think Kiko would want to ride on an airplane for 36 hours. And I was shocked at first. You know, I'm like, what do you even have in Mongolia, right? And so she messaged me and she's like, turtles. I got a picture of a conure the other day with a broken beak. So they've actually started emailing us already for help with some of the cases and that kind of stuff before we get there. Guinea pigs, rabbits are big over there. So I was actually really surprised what the exotics trade was looking like over there, you know, and just kind of the depth of the animals and that they actually have over in that area. And it's nice to know that they're wanting care for these animals too, and seeking to be able to train the veterinarians and their staff on how to be able to handle these kinds of patients.
And all from Mississippi coming here. Okay, so let's talk about our friends that we have. So if you've watched Animal Health on Thursdays on Sunrise, you've definitely seen the birds for sure. So who is this?
This is Kiko. She's actually getting ready to turn 8 on Saturday. She was a Valentine's Day baby.
Kiko.
So she is a blue-throated macaw. They are critically endangered in the wild. There's less than 100 of these.
Is that like the Rio movie? Is that correct?
Similar, yes. So there's less than 100 of these guys left in the wild. So they're very, very rare. We actually have a male that we also see as well. So she's a special girl, and she's spoiled rotten. I do also have a cockatoo at home named Switch. He is 6. So we have a very full house of birds. And then this little guy right here is Nix. He is a crested gecko.
Crested.
Just hanging out. So they have the sticky feet. He does not have a tail, so he's a little special.
Was he born that way?
He was, yes. So he's
freaking out, y'all.
Come on. So these guys are jumpers. They live kind of up in the treetops and stuff like that. But yeah, that's exactly what they do. Yep. So he's a sweet boy.
Now, correct me, do geckos, aren't they the ones that change colors?
No, those are chameleons. Yes, I do have one of those as well in the office too. So there's we have a conure that lives at the clinic. We have the 2 crested geckos, and then we have a chameleon that lives there as well. And it's really nice to be able to go and show clients even like where they live and the setups that we have to be able to educate them. That's the biggest issue we see with exotics is husbandry problems. 90% of the time it's a
because a lot of times these are buys where they go into a pet store and they just see it and then they're like, oh, that is so cool, I want to buy it. And then they don't realize the care that they need and the husbandry, and they also don't realize how long some of these live. I mean, Bart is, this is my Amazon, double yellow-headed Amazon. I've had him since I was a kid. He's 37 years old. We actually, he was born at my family's home. And he lives a long time. People are like, well, how long can he live? I'm like, well, the oldest one recorded is 100 years old.
Wow.
So they live a very long time, and they have a very, very high intelligence level. I mean, almost up to a 3-year-old child. So this bird is totally bonded with me. I'm like his bonded mate. And out in the wild, they bond with their mates for life also.
Yes.
So a lot of people, we just try to really educate. If you're going to get a bird or any type of exotic, especially a bird though, because they're so intelligent, they bond for life, and they don't understand when they're not getting that full attention. And it's just so important that, you could give us a call. We could talk about if you're thinking about a type of bird. And also you need to think about what kind of bird fits your family.
Yes. And guys, we'll answer all those questions right back after the break. All right, everyone, welcome back. So Dr. Emerson and Dr. Janzen are joining me in studio along with some of our pet friends here because Dr. Janzen, we were talking, you are going to go on a mission trip to Mongolia for 2 weeks to teach others just about exotic animals. And I was asking y'all when we went to break, how are our birds not flying around right now?
Yes, so Kiko is clipped. It's one of the things that we do at the clinic. That was very graceful, girl. And so essentially what we do is they have certain feathers, their first 10 feathers or so are what give them lift to be able to fly. And so it's no different than trimming your hair. And so they don't feel it. It's not painful or anything like that. And so we clip those feathers so that she's not able to get any lift and be able to fly. It's not dangerous. It doesn't hurt them or anything like that. She's very used to being clipped, but that way then when we take her places and go do things and stuff like that, we're not worried about her flying away. That's a horrible experience to have. So we want to make sure that they're safe. In a household, you got to think too, not only, are you worried about them, flying away outside, but ceiling fans or flying into the stove and different things like that. It's extremely dangerous.
Goodness.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of things that most people, when they get a bird, aren't thinking of. Those are the kinds of things that we're there to be able to educate on.
And sometimes they'll fly out the door.
Yes, they'll fly all over the
Fly up in
place.
trees.
So my cockatoo ended up flying up onto our roof one time. He had a great time while we were trying to get him down off of a ladder, but it's not something I ever want to experience again. So
Now, Dr. Emerson, Bart can fly around, and you said he can also talk a few languages.
Yeah, he can speak a little bit of Spanish. I mean, I've had this bird since I was in my teens. So we've been together forever. So he says a lot of things. He says, hello, what are you doing? I'm a pretty bird. He likes to dance. I don't know, will you dance, Bart? Will you dance? Will you dance for us? See, I'm getting all excited though. He likes to play tickle, tickle, tickle. Give me a kiss. Oh, he's such a good boy.
Oh my goodness.
He's such a good boy.
Dr. Emerson, did you know that Bart was going to live very long whenever you got him?
Actually, yes. My family, we've gone pet stores growing up,
Okay.
so we've always had parrots, and I did know that Bart was going to live quite a while. The Amazon is not the best choice of pets because, they can be a little bit more aggressive toward other people because birds bond. So when I talk to families about getting birds, this is a bird that you really need to think long and hard about just because of the fact they live so long and they require a lot of care. Out in the wild, birds will forage hours and hours at a time to eat different things.
Okay.
And a lot of people think you just feed birds bird seed, and that's not the case. You have to give them a nice, well-rounded diet and different things for them to eat because like it is out in the wild. And another thing we like to make sure we do is really good stimulation for our birds, give them a lot of different toys, a lot of different things to do, or they get bored. If they can't be played with all day, they're just like a 3-year-old child.
Awesome.
Yes, pretty much.
And, we were talking before we went to commercial break, a lot of people don't know these things. They see the birds or these exotic animals at a pet store and like, oh my goodness. Y'all have really worked hard to educate our viewers about, different things when it comes to your animals. If I'm considering getting any type of animal exotic, could I come to the office in West Point first and maybe ask some questions?
Yeah, or give us a call. And another thing I always tell people is do some research.
Okay.
Go online. There's so many different valuable websites you can go to. And if you're worried about what website you are going to, call us. We can give you some recommendations and try to get that exotic pet that fits your family. Because now everybody's so busy. Some people live in a lot of apartments. So exotic pets are becoming a lot more popular, like rabbits, guinea pigs, smaller birds. You also have to think about when you get birds that they are a little bit more loud than other animals because they can talk. He likes to scream when he gets upset. I mean, just things like that. He'll even scream help as loud as he can. Yeah, I mean, they learn so many things. Yeah, you're excited.
And Dr. Janzen, what do you think is going to be the most fun part of teaching others about exotic animals?
We just enjoy teaching. We have interns or externs that come from the vet school and stuff like that. I think just being able to spread the knowledge so that these animals in Mongolia are still able to live very long and happy lives. That's my biggest thing, is I just want them to be properly enriched, have the proper care that they need, and to be able to live the extent of what they should be able to live. We are seeing guinea pigs with us that are 10, 11, 12 years old, which is like unheard of.
Guinea pigs scare me, guys.
Oh, you would love them if you got to know them.
But we have rabbits that are living to be, late in age, far beyond what the normal expected age is for them. And so I just want to make sure that these animals are getting the experience in life that they should be getting and properly enriched.
All right, guys, we'll be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us. All right, guys, we have just a little bit of time here left on Mid-Morning. And Dr. Emerson, we were talking about, when it comes to exotic animals, you need to board them, and you guys do that there in West Point. And
yes.
Talk to me a little bit about why we need to board exotic animals.
Well, and it depends on the type of animal, but a lot of times, like I was telling you earlier, exotic animals can get sick pretty fast and not show their signs until they are sick. So I recommend a lot of people that if you're going to be gone, several days, it's very important to either have somebody very knowledgeable watching them, or we can board them here at the clinic. Like right now, we have 2 guinea pigs boarding, we have birds board, we have snakes board. We pretty much board any type of exotic. And it's just, it allows us to make sure they're getting the food they need, that they're drinking and eating normally, and they're not having any types of issues while they're boarding, because boarding can be stressful sometimes for any type of animal.
Now, whenever an animal, exotic or non-exotic, are in a stressed state, could that make them get symptoms and become sick?
It'll compromise their immune systems.
Gotcha.
And that can be anything as simple as like their heat is off, their humidity is off. You can actually kind of see the tank here is a little wet for him. He's, I think, licking a leaf right now, as a matter of fact. But anything like that is just enough to kind of tip them over. These guys are super susceptible to respiratory infections. And so we actually see a lot in like the spring and the fall, especially with the temperatures around here. It's cold one day and really hot another day. And so the heat's on and off and the AC's on and off and stuff like that. We see a lot of respiratory infections in these guys in those times. So having a stable environment for them and being able to make sure that that remains stable, especially while you're out of town and stuff like that, is really critical for them.
And I just have a curious question. With geckos, how long do they typically live?
I think 20, 25 years.
They can. And it also depends on the gecko that you get, and the husbandry, how to take care of that animal. That's why we say it's so important before you go purchase a gecko, a bearded dragon, a snake, a bird, a guinea pig, a rabbit, get that information to make sure you've got everything set up like they need it. And when you do come in with your exotic pet for the first time, Dr. Janzen or I will go in there and we will sit down and we actually go through exactly what your husbandry is. We go through what type of environment they're living in, the temperatures of that environment, what you're feeding them, because what you feed exotic animals are very, very important, and that gives you more time with them.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for stopping by the studio. We will have a recap of Dr. Janzen when she comes home, so stick around and wait for that.